Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Some fat bint falls over. Wah, wah, wah. Absolutely can't get that on a sax. It will be lost.
You can't get that on the sax, yeah.
I just wanted to send an email to say thank you to you and the band for an incredible evening reception at our wedding. The band were incredible. We had the best time. They were engaging, involved the audience, read the room, played extra songs we loved and appreciated. We had so many guests tell us how much they love the band and have even had some say it was the best wedding they've been to, thanks to the band. I was so happy to see so many people dancing. We had such a great evening and will 100% recommend them to anyone we can. Thank you so much for helping make our wedding reception so special. And the drummer is an absolute cutie. I added that bit.
No, David, I'll ask the questions and then you just answer. I don't need to fill in the words.
Just
can I be blunt? They're all like that, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Not to take anything away from you, but I absolutely have. But every time, hey guys, you've had a review, 5 stars, and it'll be like, band are incredible, made our night. And you're like, yeah. I want a bad review. That's what I want. I want to have a shit one. Or a medium one. Be like, the band are average. Do you think anyone on the agency has got an average review? Because I think it's either every person that hires a band is like, yeah, you guys are incredible, or if something goes wrong, they'll probably contact the agency directly. But do you reckon anyone's got a middle of the road 3-star?
I don't know. I definitely think the confusing one I've had is similar to that. The text, the prose was loved it, amazing.
Yeah.
4 out of 5. What? Where's the?
Yeah.
Seemed like literally. You loved it, so I'm not sure what we'd have to do to get the fact.
I would say my favourite review for anything ever was I was looking at a chippy near mine, seeing the review, seeing if it was all right. I might have even said this on the pod before. It was a 3-star review, and it said, not the best, not the worst. And I thought that was great. That's exactly what a 3-star review is, you know? It's not
like
the
a
best.
Reading.
No.
Yeah, that is a pretty typical review, but we are pretty typically incredible, so... that was a gig that I've kind of forgotten about. So,
do you remember what it was?
I'm distracted by. What are you doing?
My water bottle is slightly dirty around the rim, and I don't know why.
And now's the time to clean it.
Well, I get very distracted by things. You know this. It's weird. I don't know. I need to give it a deep clean, I think. It's got some crud in it. Anyway,
much like this podcast.
Well done for doing so well.
Thanks,
on
mate.
Your review. Yeah.
I think one review I got was good. It was the band looked like they were bored.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we were. Don't worry.
Don't show it. Christ. You're all about professionalism until it gets to the gig.
It was a Victoriana gig, and fucking hell, we were bored.
Yeah.
And I feel like a bit like Marcus Rashford.
In what way?
not just in looks, but talent on the football pitch.
No, because you got both.
But I've got my last Victoriana gig coming up.
Is that still going?
Weeks. So Victoriana we did for years, Mumford and Sons style, vintage bullshit. Yeah. Eventually we turned the second set into sort of pop rock, and then we just did like 8 songs of, and it's just. The band's had some toxic members in the past. It's had its strained times. But when it kicked off, it was like fucking busy. So cashola, mate. Absolute making bank, right? Changed the lineup. It's a lot better. But got to the point where that sort of Mumford style wedding is sort of dead now. People aren't
thank
booking
God.
it. That phase has been. So in the meantime, me and Neil, we did freshman year. We set that up, which we really enjoy. And it was like, I think it's time for Victoriana to die. So we turned it into Wonder Year. Mm-hmm. So 4-piece now, same people, but none of that vintage shit. 90s, noughties, pop rock, right? And that's now really, that's we got a lot of bookings for this year, which is great. But there's ultimately a point where when you decide you're going to stop the band, you have gigs in the diary. You have to. So you got to honour them. We had this one. Yeah, it's booked a couple of weeks. They booked this like 2 years ago. So it's just been in there, and it's like, that's going to be that's the last one. And we said to the agency, like, when we set one year up, like, they said, what do you want to do, Victoria? And I was like, burn it to the ground, baby. Burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
And so we got this last gig. And then a fucking email came through from the agency. Victoriana gig, July, booked. What?
Yeah.
Always had like a fucking, hang on, something's gone wrong here. I can't have this. I cannot do it. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. This band, no, it needs to die. It needs to go. Emailed the agency, was like, what's going on here? Because this band should be dead.
Did.
And they said, oh, it's a previous client. They've had you before. So we were like, thought it'd be all right. And I was like, oh. Yeah. I've got another gig that day. So I'm like, I am sticking with Decade. I'm not doing Victoriana. And I just had to double check. They said, please make sure this is the last gig. We don't want any more. We don't want it. We just don't want it. And much like, I don't know if you know the Marcus Rashford situation.
No.
Well, he plays for Man United, right? He's a Man United player. Yeah. But he fucking hates it there.
Oh, okay.
And he's not been playing. If he has played, his form's been off. He's didn't give a fuck, right? He's been there since he was a kid. He's been there years, right? Problems with managers, all that. He's not putting in the effort. He's not doing this, right? He's gone on loan to Aston Villa. Absolutely flying, mate. He's absolutely flying. And sometimes it's the situation. It's that thing. And I don't... however, I'm still professional, sure. I still play, well when I'm with that band. It's just something about it that the years of toxicity in that band is just... And the nature of the music is not something I enjoy. It's ground me down where, fuck professionally, I can't do it. I just can't go back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Wonder Year is me Aston Villa and freshman year. Do you know what I mean?
That makes sense, yeah.
Put me in them, fucking love it. I'll play. It's not to say I'll love it forever, but it's just one of the many similarities me and Marcus have, We feed the kids.
What other similarities do you have with Marcus Rashford?
I've also written a book, and I fed all the children during lockdown as well. So.
This is it. Well, great. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, speaking of average gigs, I believe you did one recently, didn't you?
No, I did, yeah. I had a gig on Saturday.
Segue like a snake, mate.
That was a good segue.
Absolutely.
That was a nice one. Where's the pirate hat today? I've noticed. Yeah. Do you reckon, can I? I won't do it now. I had a gig on Saturday, a function with Tim Love. First one of the, I think the first
Lover
one of the year.
boy.
Can't remember. But also
what do you call
Swanee.
him? What do you call him to his face?
Tim.
You don't call him Tim Love? Because it seems like that should be...
It should be.
Some people are named
yeah,
with
maybe
their full
like
name,
as a joke. Yeah. Like, if you're sorting stuff. Tim Love, where do you want these lights? You know what I mean?
Because I wonder if because there was a guy at my school, Chris Wood, and that's
yeah.
One syllable in each name.
Yeah,
you have to say both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
maybe. But anyway,
Yeah. So Tim Love and Swanee, Brighton Swanee, because
every city has a Swanee. Yeah.
Every city has a Swanee. That's the rule. If your surname's Swan, you have to be called Swanee. There's no way around it. And then there was a sax player between our sets doing a sax DJ kind of ting.
That's popular at the moment, isn't it?
So popular.
Why is a saxophone get all the joy? No one wants trombone and DJ.
No.
But I tell you this, it'll be more jokes. It'll be much more entertaining. The tunes you could pop out on a trombone, fucking Lurpak, no saxophone in that. Do you know what I mean? What sold Danish butter in this country for year on year was a fucking trombone. I can tell from the look of your face, you've got no idea what I'm talking about. Because you are young.
Yeah, well.
You're a young man.
What? Yeah.
You know Lurpak?
Yeah, I know. I've got that bit. And I know what a trombone is.
They had a series of TV adverts in the 90s, right? Yeah. And their mascot was a little guy made of butter who played the trombone. It sounds mental. And so, as a trombonist growing up in the 90s, you know, play the trombone, constant association. And he used to play like these, you know, famous little tunes on the trombone. And in fact, then there's the one, and it's because you had the two main things. You had Johnny Briggs, which was a TV show in the 70s or 80s maybe, right. And the theme tune to that was on trombone. Okay. Really recognisable. Very classic. And then you had the Lurpak man, who do like Flight of the Bumblebee and that on the trombone.
Love it.
And he was this little cheeky guy butter who played the trombone. Anyway.
I mean, obviously, I'll have to find this on YouTube. And
yeah.
Put this as an audiogram.
That was, you know, that was up there with Mr. Soft.
Also, not to slag off.
Do you know Mr. Soft is?
That does ring a bell.
Oh, Mr. Soft, can you tell me why the world in which you live in is so strange?
Was this a show or an advert?
It was an advert for soft mints, Treeball soft mints. Got ya. It was just this, he'd walk like that. Boom. The 90s, mate, it was brilliant. It was the best. Yeah. It was the peak humanity. And never.
Yeah.
When you're advertising butter with trombone, you never. Where else have you got to go? But anyway, no one wants trombone and drum, but no, you know, I think it would be way better.
Yeah, a trombone DJ set would be hilarious for the comedic value of how you play a trombone.
Absolutely. Some fat pig falls over. Wap, wap, wap. Absolutely. You can't get that on a sax. It will be lost.
You can't get that on the sax, yeah. You can follow people around the room and do the bra-ba-da-da-da-da. It'd be great. Fuck.
Have you seen that guy on YouTube who plays the trombone and his mum has dwarfism? And he just follows her around playing the trombone when she's doing stuff around the house. It's brilliant. She loves it. She's involved, yeah?
Yeah, because it's nothing vicious. Oh,
anyway, gigging with Tim Love, the lover boy. The big Tim L. Love. The big
Swanee.
TL. And, Brighton Swanee. City-specific Swanee.
And a sax player called Becca. And, hey, here's the most important part of the gig. Forget the gig. So I've talked before on here about eating before a gig because it's something I struggle with. I mean, even when we did the first and, let's be honest, best Christmas episode, no offense, Lennon, but the first one we were just banter flowing. Lennon, we'll have you back this year and we'll make it more banterous. Try and match it. But anyway, I digress. When we did the first one, we were talking about food and how I like take food to a gig but then steal food, and you know, food is an odd one because it's sort of like usually we get given the food half an hour before you play, and I'm going, I can't eat because I got to play drums and I feel disgusting. So we're at this gig, and they were like, "Oh, burger and chips for your tea, everyone." We were like, "Cool, sounds good," you know. And I looked at the time, and food came out at like, I don't know, 7, and we were about to play. We were meant to play at 8:30. And I was going, can I risk it, you know? Anyway, I had a whole...
What's the risk? What's the risk there then?
Just feeling bloated and awful and just sort of like so full up that you can't concentrate on a gig.
Is any part of that... Does any part of your no burping get affected by food?
I think that's what it is. I think you're just sort of so...
You just swell up like...
You're just so gassy.
Violet Beauregard.
Yeah. And then you got to sit there and play the drums, and you might be a bit anxious because people are watching you or whatever, and you know that you can't just run off stage and lie down or whatever. I don't know. So I tend not to eat. But this gig I ate, and what was funny is after the gig, I said to Swanee, I was like, "Hey, I had a whole meal." He was like, "Yeah, do you know what? I noticed you did." And I was kind of a bit worried because he was like, because I remember you talking about this in the past. I was like, it's very sweet that you remember that. He was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything and be like, hang on, whoa, are you sure you want to eat? Because we had a whole car journey talking about this. But yeah,
fun
maybe
car
that
journey.
Part of it's over. Huh?
Fun car journey.
Yeah. So that was good. Anyway, so the gig was very average though. When someone asked me about it,
was it a wedding?
It was a wedding. And they were like, how's the gig? And I was like, it was forgettable, but like in a good way, because it wasn't great. I wasn't like, wow, that was such a buzz, but it wasn't bad. It was just sort of like completely middle of the road. It happened. They were dancing. They had a good time.
The contract was fulfilled, yeah.
Contract was fulfilled. But like down to everything, even the sound. The sound wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, you know. My in-ear mix wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. My playing wasn't great.
Your drumming wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was just, it was, the food wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was just like, nothing about it was memorable. It just was a gig, it happened, and then, so the fact that it was uninteresting makes for
Do you find people sometimes
topic.
who aren't musicians struggle to understand that?
In what way?
So, I'll give you an example. I have one ready. That's why I asked the question, so I can talk.
Yeah. I do that all the time too. Yeah, carry on.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone does. Are you going on holiday?
What's your favourite drummer skin? Yeah.
Are you getting married in Las Vegas? Oh, just I am. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Have you ever been to CrossFit? No. Yeah, go on.
You're looking good. Me too. Yeah, CrossFit, baby. So it was my future in-laws over Christmas when they came and stayed. One of the nights I had a gig. Saw them for breakfast the next day. How was your gig? Yeah, fine. And it was almost a bit like, what? But it was a gig. You're playing music to people. Yeah, it was fine. I've done it. I've forgotten it already. Can't remember. I literally, if you asked me, I couldn't tell you anything about that gig.
No.
Now, you know, and it's been a couple of months, but you know, and it's like you think, yes, it is different. It's a different sort of job, but you know, my friends who work office jobs were, how's your day at work? I wouldn't expect them amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Every day at work to be amazing. Sent 4 emails and they were amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying there isn't a joy in sending a well-worded email, because I've sent many.
One of the best things, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think people can sometimes, non-musicians can, what do you mean it was all right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you something else. So not to talk about CrossFit, and I'm not talking about it in this sense, but
you have been this morning.
I have been this morning, absolutely.
Visible by the vest.
So. Yeah, I know. Well, it's that time of year where you're kind of in between. You can't just wear a vest out, but a hoodie is a bit too hot. You know what I mean? Well, there's a comedian, right? Just to go off topic. Ooh, ADHD. There's a comedian who did one of the best opening lines I've ever seen, where he's this white guy who has a black African wife who has, you know, these amazing African gowns. So he'd obviously just gone, can I wear one for my gig? So he comes on stage, this very much white, pale English guy wearing a very obviously African thing, and just stands there and everyone's laughing. And then when the laughter dies, he goes, it's very difficult to know what to wear in this weather. And I was like, that's the perfect, you know, opener for a gig. So yeah, you don't really know what to wear. So I am in a tank top, but am I a bit cold? Maybe. I can't remember what I was talking about.
I know what you're saying. CrossFit. Right, yeah, go on.
I'll just say quickly. So I, whenever I talk to people about what they do, you know, and they all have houses and they're all, you know, rich and stuff. And to be like, what do you do? And they're like, I'm a strategic, you know, development researcher for the something. But as they're saying it, their voice trails off. They're like, researcher for this. And I'm like, oh, do you enjoy that? Like, no, it's fucking boring. But I've got a house in Hove, you know what I mean? And I tell them what I do, and they're like, that's amazing. I used to play the drums, and I hate that I gave it up. And I'm like, well, you know, I've got. It is amazing,
but I steal cheese from a bin.
Exactly. I work in a bakery, and 90% of the food I eat on those days
and
is
the clothes you wear.
Yeah,
from bins.
Yeah, exactly.
Scrap piles.
I am selling some stuff as well. If anyone wants to buy a guitar, you know, because times are tough, baby.
What you got?
I'm going to sell that Gretsch.
Are you?
Yeah, because I think I said to you.
Do you want a new bike? I'll ask you again. Do you want a new bike?
No.
It's lovely.
I got my bike serviced the other day.
Is your bike good?
Best thing I've ever done. Yeah, it is good. It's a road bike, specialised road bike. Yeah, I don't know where I could sell your bike. If I can find a way.
No, I know where.
But I've got
a
bike I need to sell. Do you know a place to sell a bike?
Well, I think South Sea Cycles.
Yeah, I might try and
End of
sell my
Grove.
other one there.
Yeah, I haven't got around to it yet. But here's my dad's bike. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
My brother took one of them. I've got the other one. Dad liked his bikes.
Mm.
Yeah, where were we?
Who
Interesting.
knows?
I'm just wondering if there's anything I could swap for your guitar.
I don't want to do a swap.
Coffee table?
I just want cash.
Just want cash.
Am I going to do a coffee table? I've barely got room
How
for
much
a
are you
bed.
asking for it? What do you want for it?
I don't know. I was going to say about 300 quid because it retails
Interesting.
for like 600 or something, 700. If anyone's listening and wants to buy a Gretsch Electromatic guitar, let me know.
Sure.
I've also got some other stuff I'm going to sell.
Well,
But let's not make
I
this podcast
ventured.
about that.
If anyone wants some loft insulation, I ventured for the first time into the world of Freecycle. Have you ever used Freecycle?
Is that the one that Superhands used to try and find his perfect woman, where it's like size 10 ballet shoes
And a DVD or
copy of-
something, isn't it?
Yeah, and a bag of cat or something.
I just
to
want the
find
shoes.
his-
It's
Yeah.
the whole package, I'm afraid. Can't give you just the shoes.
It's gonna be no.
So I'm doing my studio demolishing upstairs at the moment, the old recording studio, and there's a lot of wood which I'm taking to the tip. There's a lot of plasterboard which I'll have to get properly disposed of, but so much rock wool sounded loft insulation in there, mineral wool panels and all that. And there's fucking loads of it, and I'm pretty sure actually now I've spoken to a company I'm working with building a new one, and I'm pretty sure I could actually reuse a lot more than I thought.
Right.
In the new studio. But the one issue is it's not necessarily getting rid of it, it's just that it takes up so much space of the space I'm actually trying to demolish.
Yeah.
So I've just got this massive pile, so I'm having to constantly keep moving it. And I was like, you can take it to the tip, but you have to like bag it up, right? The trouble is it's so light, it's pretty light, the loft insulation, but it's so cumbersome.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't actually fit that much in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would take me like 10 tip runs to get it done. So it was a bit of a very unproductive use of my time. And someone said, like, it's reusable. Someone said someone for free, and I'd heard of Freecycle for sure. Never used it before. So I was like, I'll go on there, have a look, set myself up on there, and I just searched in the area. And like a month ago, someone posted, like, has anyone got any loft insulation? I'm like, me, I have.
Yeah.
I've got fucking...
Yeah.
So I messaged her. I haven't heard back, but I did my post, a couple of pictures. So I got loft insulation, collection only from Hilsey. And someone bloody messaged me like a day later. Like, I need some loft insulation for my basement and my loft. So I've messaged them back. Maybe they'll come and take some. But I was looking through like sort of the list of things that go up there. That people are giving away. And I think it's good, if you don't need the money, it's a good way of recycling sort of stuff, Some of the stuff you think, you just need to go to the tip.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that stained chair.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without a black light, I don't know what's going on.
When I did the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, I had to work in a charity shop, and the amount of tat that people would just come in and sheepishly drop, and it'd be like, you can sell this on, can you? Okay, bye. And it'd be like, no.
Stand at the door and throw it in and run away before you can.
This is it. There was a Facebook post once. It was someone said, anyone want... Oh, fuck. What was the wording of it? It was like, anyone want... Oh, cut this out. It was something along the lines of like, anyone want any scrap, but not any scrap. Anyone want a scrap? Come outside my house if you want a scrap. I can't remember. It was a joke. It was about scrap metal. Cut all that out.
Yeah.
Christ.
I've got some stuff in the garage that can go. Coffee table.
Yeah.
TV unit. I'm going to have a lot of stuff from the studio that will need to find a home. I've got about 6 bass cabs. Where the fuck are they going?
Yeah.
It's your birthday coming up.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Would that be funny? Should I do that? Should I just gift people? And they can't. It's on their birthday. They can't refuse it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a 4x10.
No.
Hartka.
Yeah.
Bass cab on wheels.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy 8th birthday.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my friends have got kids. They'll all have birthdays this year. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a coffee machine.
Yeah.
Check this out, mate. Billy's here.
Oh.
Hang on.
You're grabbing him by the throat.
Come here, you little
Oh. Oh. I thought
it's
that
Lego
was a real cat for a
Billy.
sec. Yeah, I can see. It's like very stiff, your cat. Wow.
Isn't that good?
That is good.
So I bought a Lego set and I built it the weekend. And it's the tuxedo cat. And it basically looks exactly like Billy.
It does. Has Billy tried to have sex with it yet?
No.
Oh, fair enough.
No. We did chop his balls off a few months ago.
Did you? What, you, personally?
No.
No. Go to a vet for that sort of procedure.
And that was like when you go to Halfords, you try and change to like yourself, and then you end up getting a Halfords to get them to do it.
Yeah.
No, he's pretty much exactly the same. I'm going to customise him a little bit because I just need to tweak the nose, one side of the face, and the tail to make him an exact Billy replica. But it's very funny. I built him, and then Billy just sort of sitting next to it, and you're like, "Hang on a minute, we've got two cats." But
which is which?
Yeah, but that was fun. That's a bit of fun.
That is fun. I had a new job the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, teaching. Getting back into teaching.
Oh yeah,
so
because you cycled 2 hours, didn't you?
Oh yeah. No, I drove this time, and it was good. You know, it was 2 primary schools, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. It is funny teaching primary school kids drums because if you've ever taught, if anyone listening has ever, if anyone listening has ever taught in a primary school kids at a certain age are funny. Do you know what I mean? They're just naturally funny. And,
especially the autistic ones. They're hilarious.
But like, yeah, it's just fine. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, teaching drums, just set up an electric kit, teach them some stuff. And then,
do you take your electric kit?
No, I pick up one from the guy I'm working for. Just pick up his from his studio, which is next to the bakery. So I did a day of teaching, dropped the kit back.
It's like you live in like,
I'm already at work.
You know, the Postman Pat's village where everything is just like
it's mental.
There's 2 roads and you got everything. The bakery, the studio. You cross. I just imagine you just in this little.
Yeah, you joke, but all those 4 things are all within a 5-minute drive of each other. CrossFit and my studio are next to each other.
Do you do
and
CrossFit?
Then the bakery and that guy's studio are next to each other, and they're a 5-minute drive. So I am tempted more and more to move to Port Slade, to be honest, because everything I do.
How far is that from you then?
On a bike, 15 minutes. In a car, 15 minutes is somehow exactly the same.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But maybe like at night, like 10-minute drive.
Sure.
But it's more to the never eat shredded wheat west. So it's
right. You had to do that's mental. Yeah.
One day I won't have to do it anymore. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice to teach. And the next plan is.
So you doing it through a company?
Yeah. But the
you've been
next
checked,
plan,
innit?
Yeah. Huh?
You've been checked, innit?
Oh, I've had a DBS check since I was 18, and never not had one, which proves I'm not a paedophile. No, come on. Or at least I'm a very hard to. No, let's stop. Let's stop the peep show quoting.
So, how many students in a day, and how long are their lessons?
20-minute lessons, and it's 2 in a lesson. So it's like 5 in the first school, and then like, I can't remember. Maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 in the next school, something like that.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot. Trying to learn their names was the hard bit,
Any weird names? Because you get a lot of people name their kids weird things these days.
There's a few Adolfs. That name's coming back. About time.
Because we're sort of the biblical age names, aren't we? There's a lot of Davids, Lukes, the sort of traditionals in it. And then all of my friends' kids have, there's no like weird names, but they're We come from the town of Sarahs, Lewis,
Yeah.
Toms, Stevens, James.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Amelies, Noras,
Yeah.
Fleurs in my friend group, you know, Alfie and Theos, and there's Thea. Someone's got a Thea, someone's got a Theo.
Yeah.
You know, there's no Garys, is what I'm saying. There's no
Gary's died out.
Gary's gone.
Didn't you see the stat on how many Garys there's been? You know, it's been like 4 in the last 20
We have a
years.
friend we call Gary, but his name's not Gary, his name's Chris, but we've called him Gary since he was 18.
Mental.
He just turned 40.
Yeah.
So.
My dad had a mate.
His mum got annoyed. We called him, even his own brother, who's same part of the same friendship group, calls him Gary in front of his parents.
Why?
That's just what we call it. That's his name.
Yeah, but why? There has to be a reason.
I think it was from Only Fools and Horses Christmas special.
Oh, yeah. Another
Gary.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went out that night. I think we went out that night, or that we just watched it the night before or something.
Yeah.
And Brother Gary, we just called him Brother Gary. And that's it. Stuck. Will you please stop calling him Gary, Andrew? It's his name.
No,
it's not his name. His
funny.
name's Christopher. But what's even better, his middle name is Robin. Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
My dad had a friend called Michael Jackson when he used to go to work. Well, he still goes to work, but when he was at his job. And apparently, but it was like this guy was the same sort of age as his parents weren't to know who their surname was Jackson. They weren't to know if they named their son Michael
After one
by
of
the 80s.
most high-profile paedophiles of our time.
Yeah, exactly.
Who could also write a killer tune. Double-edged swords, isn't it? It's
balances
really
out. It's a controversial topic.
I think as Tom Segura said about Kevin Spacey, you know.
Yeah.
But his films are great. So if his films were shit, be on him. But anyway, any weird names in your...
Don't know if I'm allowed to say. Might be a safeguarding issue. There
Probably.
are. I'll tell you after the...
Well, don't give me their full names,
Zoom.
age and height and address.
Yeah.
I just want to know if there's
I
any,
asked someone at work. The other day. I was like, he asked me where I live. I was like, oh, Kemp Town area. I said, what about you? He told me his flat building. I was like, that's weird, isn't it? He was like, oh, Bishop's Flat, number 38. I was like, no, I don't need to know where exactly.
I think he wants you to come round.
Yeah, well, maybe. There is a kid called Ned, which was quite a cool name.
That's good.
And someone else called
Parents
Eden.
obviously love The Simpsons.
Yeah, and someone else called Eden, which I was like, that's quite a cool name. But I tell you what, speaking of names of kids, I do think Arabella probably became one after the Arctic Monkeys tune, because Arctic Monkeys in 2013 had a big hit called Arabella, and I reckon that's probably just like, you don't want to name your kid Alex Turner, that'd be mental, Alex Turner Pickering, but you'd be like, I reckon dads and mums as well, but I don't know, something about a lad being like, oh, what about Arabella, and then like, yeah,
because they're a band I like.
Because they're lads. I don't really like the new stuff, but if they still play Mardy Bum, I'll go.
It's like all the people who called their daughters Daenerys before the final of Game of Thrones, where she turns into a psycho queen and kills everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know, I'll tell you the worst name for a girl. I think it's the girl's name. I mean, it's not a name. Mercedes.
Yeah. From Hollyoaks.
So trashy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why is it that every girl seems to, not every girl, but a lot of them seem to have the second name Louise? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of something Louise, Why are you tail ending the name with Louise, Calm down. I was chatting to someone once and I said, what's your middle name? She went, guess. Almost like, I'm white trash. What do you think? And I was like, Louise? She's like, yeah, obviously. I was like, why is that a thing, Anyway.
We'll look into it. We'll send our producers to look into our researchers.
Yeah, if your surname's Louise, don't take it personally. But,
yeah. Well, hey, have you got anything else? I don't know.
No, not really.
Not really, no.
It's 40
I've got some
minutes
gigs
of
coming up. I I got 3 gigs in March, where they're all at the end of the month. I got a Monday, Friday, Saturday. 3 gigs in 6 days.
Wow, nice.
So 3 different bands.
I do. Lovely. Which bands? Let me guess. Freshman year, Wonder Year, and Buzz Lightyear. No, I don't know.
Good, all the years.
Decade. Well, it'll be the bands you're in, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, it's my last Victoriana gig.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, that would be
all of them, though, mate. All of them. Earliest loading is 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And they either finish at 11 or half 11.
Nice. Are they nearby?
I got all local. Mate, absolute cash in the attic. This.
That is.
Piece of piss.
I got 2 on the weekend, Friday and Saturday, because I didn't have a gig for this Saturday, and I was like, fuck, because it's not nice to not have a gig. But then Frances, who I play with in London, the Cajon gig, she was like, do you want to do a gig on March 15th? I was like, yeah, go on then. Thinking like, it's not the best pay, but it's something. I don't think anything else will come in last minute. Then she was like, do you want to do one on the Friday as well? Also in London. I was like, yes, obviously. So then that actually makes it so much better, because not only have you got double bubble, but also it's an excuse to go up to London and see people I haven't seen in a while. Do you know what I mean? I'll go up on the Friday.
See all your London mates.
This is it. Hang out.
Everyone's got London mates, haven't they?
Yeah. That you
everyone's
can just
got
send
London
on.
mates. Yeah.
Good I stay
and I think there's a because I was a London mate at one point, and I've had London mates.
Yeah.
I think comes a time where you move to London and you become a London mate. Come up to London, come and stay with me in my hovel of a room in a very expensive house share.
Yeah.
The heating doesn't work, but we'll go on the
But
bill.
you're
We
in
can get
London.
the tube anywhere till 11:30, and then we have to get a shitty night bus.
Yeah.
because we
Some
can't afford
places
a
are quicker to get
taxi.
food from Brighton. Yeah.
And then people naturally move out. They move back home. They move away. Because life changes, or they just can't afford it. All those various things. I have done that. I have, relocated, and then you still have your London mates. And I think there gets a point where, unless they're like earning big bucks, I think the people who got out will go, a bit sad you're still in London, isn't it?
There is one person, I won't say who, it's an old friend, so if you're listening, is it me? No, because we haven't spoken in a while. She lives in London.
I've narrowed it down.
Yeah.
There.
I think for the sake of saying she can live in London, do you know what I mean? I'm like, what are you
I think people get
doing
attracted
there?
to the lifestyle. It's like I've been watching Daredevil, right, on Disney Plus, and they're in Hell's Kitchen in New York, and there's a character in there, and they're like, I just love the ground. It's rubbish in there. Move out. You could get a 3-bed house for the same money, if not cheaper, out in the suburbs. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. You don't have to have a bodega open at 2 a.m. So
that's why I'm thinking about moving to Port Slade. Basically, I'm like, do you know what? He's still next to Brighton. I don't need to be in Brighton.
Everywhere's next to Brighton, really.
Everywhere's next. So if you can drive far enough.
Well, let's get out of here.
There was something else we were talking about that we'd stopped talking about, but there was so many conversations that I sort of lost it. Something about London.
Oh, how's your teaching going?
Yeah, good. I mean, I've only got Erin so far.
No,
and you saw
school
her
at the
play
primary
last
school.
night. Oh,
was it the primary school?
I thought we covered that. Good.
Well, my final question on it is out of the, how many did you teach? 21? Something like
Let's
that?
say something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 20 kids. Were there any whether you were like, they got it on day one?
Yeah, well, do you know what? No, because I'd been handed over the kids. So it was like there'd been someone in the school, the guy that runs the company, he teaches them for a while and then he gets someone else in. Quite a good business setup. And I'd say 80% of the kids are on it. Do you know what I mean? They listen great, And the other 20%, you just have to find ways to keep them trying to play drums. But, oh, cool, yeah, let's, for 2 minutes, try and find different sounds on this electric drum kit, you know what I mean? Because you have to remember, they are 7. And, it's not going to be like, right, paradiddles, strap yourself in. Yeah. Got to keep it fun. But, Yeah, no, it was. But I've done primary schools before, and I was like, "Is this going to be tough?" But actually, thankfully, because it is a gamble, they're all pretty cool. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think that's it. That's enough. That's enough.
What's the ratio of gender of the students?
I'd say it's about half and half, maybe more boys than girls. But there's a lot of girls playing, which is good.
That's what we all want.
That's
50-50. Lovely. Let's get out of it. Get in touch, drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Always check out the Instagrammy at Drum and Drummer Podcast. George, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Billy says goodbye.
Goodbye, Billy.
My Lego Billy.
Yeah.
The real one's out. I locked him out of the room because he's a fucking menace at the moment. He knocked a whole bag, got this big bag of biscuits, put it high up. He can't get there. Fucking, I was in bed this morning. Oh, he's just knocked that down. Go into the bedroom. Biscuits everywhere. Just whole floor. I start picking them up. He starts eating them. You can't eat all of them, Billy. It's hard. There's 1.5 kilograms of cat food on the floor. I think you need to stop eating them. You'll make yourself sick.
And that's the lesson I learned with a bag of cookies.
Right, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's show. Get in touch. Let us know what's going on in your life. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.